today we're going to be going over some of the things you should be looking for before you go out on a ride. Now, as you know, recently I just changed out my back tire, which I had to get a patch because I had a plug in the back. I had to change out the fork seals, I changed my chain and sprocket, and I did a coolant flush, and I also changed the oil. So we want to make sure there's nothing leaking. We want to make sure that our tire pressure is consistent. You want to make sure that your chain is on its tautness or tightness, as they would say. In my book, it says it got to move anywhere between 1 3/16 to 1 9/16. And of course, you want to check your tire pressure. Now, you don't have to do all these things all the time. It should be a quick glance. You look at your bike, take a look at your tires, make sure there's nothing punctured inside the tires. Definitely want to try and make it a routine to check your tire pressure as much as possible. But every now and then, you want to be able to check your chain's tightness, okay? Just to make sure that your chain isn't too loose. And you can tell, when you flick it in the first gear, you might hear a loud pop if things are tightened correctly. I shouldn't say you hear a loud pop, but you'll feel it kind of tighten itself into gear. And then again, looking over just to make sure there's no leaks. So let's take a look at the bike and let's make sure that we don't see anything that would be compromising because we're about to go out for a ride. One of the first things I do is I actually take a look at my tires, right? I want to see, is there anything in the tire? I don't have this one up, so I can't spin it, but I can push it forward. Taking a look at the forks, of course, because I did recently just get those fork seals changed, and there is no oil coming off the forks. All right, I just washed my bike, so it's looking a little clean for a 2007 bike, but hey, that's beautiful to me. I'm not really tripping too much. Of course, like I said, I just recently did a sprocket and chain replacement, and my movement's good. It's not too loose, it's not too tight. All right. One of the biggest things for me that I like to look at, because some of us actually neglect this part, is the back tire. And give it a quick spin. Make sure you don't see anything sticking out of it. Hey, you might catch a pebble in there every now and then. Just got to make sure there's nothing in there. Okay. Some other things you can check for as well. Make sure your clutch lever is giving you the tension you need. You should be able to feel some tension in your clutch lever. Okay. Also, you want to go ahead and check your brakes. Okay, spin that back wheel, let it spin a little bit. Okay, and when you're spinning it, you can go ahead and step on the brake pedal. All right, looks like everything is working cool there. Front brake's working good as well. Okay, check that, not much tension is going to be there. One of the things that you might notice is somebody's a really good mechanic. I had this guy do this for me. He walked up on my bike and he actually did this. You want to check that throttle response, make sure it comes back immediately after you let it go, make sure it's not stuck. But as an overall overview, the bike looks good, everything's good to go. I don't see any bolts off, nothing's missing because I have not changed anything about the bike. So everything looks cool there. So we're good to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a cold start. I haven't started up yet here today. I'm going to go ahead and give it a cold start. Here's the hump. She's sounding good. Doesn't appear to be anything leaking right now. I think my next order here is going to be to replace the clutch, the flywheel. I'm going to go by bike shop here locally, see if they can actually just take a look at it, tell them what I'm hearing, and hopefully they can tell me if I need to replace the clutch or not without having to charge me anything right now. I also have an issue with the wiring. It goes up to my back brake. It has since kind of broken, so that connection where it plugs in is still connected, but the wire, the lead wire that leads to the power going to the back brake light, has broken. So I'm going to ask for a quote on that as well, and then hopefully we'll be able to see what they can do for me for both. I'm not going to go too far.
I gotta go to. Can't see too well on my mirrors right now, probably because when I was cleaning it. Nice little touring bike. Like this helmet, that was nice. Front brakes appear to be working pretty good. Clutch is still there. Not hearing what I normally hear. There's this little kind of spinning noise when it comes to my bike, especially when I'm in first gear. I can kind of hear it, and I think it's coming from the right side. There it is. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I think it's the clutch plate. The reason why I think it's a clutch plate is because this happened on my Honda Accord, and I was hearing something a little similar to that. You can hear that noise right there, and then it went away. But the clutch on my Honda Accord went out. I was hearing something a little similar to that. I think it's when the clutch is engaged or when it's in a lower gear. And everything appears to be shifting correctly. It's okay. Everything's working with that. But this is an 18-year-old bike. It's a 2007. So there very well could be some issues with my clutch. And I don't want that to be a problem with this, because I'm not trying to get rid of this or lose this. There it is again. As soon as I spin up a little higher, it's good to go. So hopefully there's no issue here. We're gonna find out. See how much it will cost them to diagnose it. Somebody take a quick ride, tell me what they hear, tell me what they think it is. Now, in addition to, having the bike inspected before you get on it, you also want to make sure you're wearing the proper gear, right? I got on my gauntlet gloves. I like these gloves because I can actually touch the screen of my phone, which I haven't mounted yet. I can touch the screen of my phone. I can navigate through that if I need to when I'm out on bike. Of course, I try not to do that when I'm riding. And these gloves just work a lot better. Plus, I want to be able to get used to wearing gauntlet gloves, because that is what you wear when you are on the track. Underneath these pants, I have on something by a company called Body Armor, which are essentially like compression pants with pockets on the inside. There's something on my knees and shins, there's something on my hips, and there's something on my buttocks as well to protect me when and if I fall. Let's go ahead and mount this while we're rolling, because I hate for that to come out of my pocket. And this phone mount is nice. I like this phone mount a lot because it doesn't require anything but you just aligning your phone up with the back square, and I don't know if you can hear that spinning, but I can hear it a lot. I don't like it, because I don't remember that being something that I could hear prior to me noticing it. Probably within the last year or so, I've been hearing that. So again, padded compression pants underneath, and underneath that also have the vest on, or the actual jacket from Body Armor, which is a mesh netted jacket. It has something for my elbows and forearms on the reverse side, and it also has something for my shoulders, and of course the back protector that goes with this as well is there. Something I recommend we all try and ride with. I see a lot of people out here riding with dirt bike gloves and just any old glove they can find. Of course we see people out here with just t-shirts on and pants, maybe just their Nikes, but not something I recommend you do, because you never know what's going to happen. You don't want to have to go down and catch a road rash. That is not a good look. You want to make sure that you are protected, minimize as much damage as possible. You just feel more confident when you're protected, You feel more confident in your ride. You feel more confident in the ways you're going to have to learn how to ride. Whether that be taking turns, whether that be putting your toes on the foot pegs instead of riding with the middle of your foot out. I know a lot of people do that because they get fatigued and they just want to rest their feet. It's not something I would recommend you do. Get used to having your toes on the pegs, getting your toes out of the way, giving them some clearance so that you are in the proper riding position. Because you never know, maybe if you have to lean on a turn or if you have to turn tight, if your foot gets too close to the ground and gets caught out, then there's going to be a chance that maybe, just maybe, your toe gets caught. You don't want that. What you want is to make sure you know you're protected. Starting to get warm. Today's going to be about 88 degrees, which means I'm probably going to be somewhere in the high 90s with everything I have on. I try to dress as light as possible so I can feel this breeze when I'm rolling, but when you stop, man, does it get hot, especially here in Texas. So you just got to make sure that you are dressing the part, right? It does sometimes make sense for me to wear my jacket, but other times it's not something that I have to do. Maybe I'll get one of them armored hoodies from Fast Lane D. Those things look pretty nice. They got everything built into it. Plus they got thumb straps that actually come up on your thumbs there to be around your hands when you're rolling. I think that's pretty cool. So I'll try and get one of those, but they are an investment. But I would rather be protected and feel more confident than not be protected out here, because that is not good.